Well, this should be interesting. Never done this before. Yes, I've spread body filler before, but not this stuff. Check this out. 66 Mustang, quarter panels all replaced and everything. You saw the previous videos on that. This right here is the area in question. See how this is indented. From the factory, these are spot welded in. I used plug welds to approximate that, but these are spot welded in. I've got them ground down. Normally from the factory, this is lead work right here. Problem is, I don't know anybody that does lead work. I certainly don't do lead work. And there are new ways of doing it to get around that. Lead is a dying art in my area anyway. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I don't know anybody that does it. And I don't think I'd want to pay anybody that wouldn't know how to do it because it's really dangerous, really expensive work. The stuff's toxic, takes time, and a lot of art. It is an art form. So what am I going to do? Well, let's just wander over here to my table and assume that the wasps are going to leave me alone in here. I got this. This is metal to metal body filler by Evercoat. This stuff is supposed to take the place of the lead. Well, let's get busy. Well, all right, first pass is done, and yeah, this is rough. I'm not good at spreading body filler, but it does spread pretty well. It definitely has a lot of aluminum in it. It was glistening from the table. You could tell that it's got a lot of aluminum embedded into it, and it is supposed to resist galvanic corrosion or any type of corrosion at all, which is good. So my plan is I'm going to let this dry overnight. And I'm going to come back in, sand it down, see how much of a divot I've got left over. I didn't want to go too terribly thick, but see how much of a divot I got left over. If it's too deep, I will be sure and add another coat of the metal to metal. And if it's good, I'm going to skim it with my usual Z-grip that I usually use. Here's the side over here. The side is done. It's ugly, but as normal, my lack of body filler skills, I try to cake it on a little bit more than I need and then sand back from there. That's why I'm going to give it plenty of time to cure out, overnight at least, and then go from there. So the good news is, step one of this is done. Now we got to let it cure.
The next day.
First pass of using this body filler, and results are a little bit mixed, but really good actually. Had a little bit of an air pocket here. That's my fault for not mixing it properly, but overall this looks really good. I've got to do one more pass on those rough plots right there. I'm going to mix some more metal to metal and cover that again. It feathered out really nicely. It's for the most part that indention is taken in like it's supposed to be. I'm going to fill that in there. Now over here it's a different subject. Didn't quite get as good a coating on this. It's still got a divot here, so I'm going to come in with one more coat just to come in along this seam. I've also got some repair work to do right here. That I already knew that was from putting the panels in. I'll get to that later. But this right here, come in here, I'm going to mix up some more. Just go a real thin coat here all the way down that seam, and then what's left over I'll use on the other side to fill in the gaps. right, what you're going to see here is this went on much smoother than the previous. I can knock that off right there pretty easily. In fact, I think I'll do that now. Get rid of that. That way I don't have to knock it off. But filled in those little low spots there real well. I think one more sanding on that, then we'll be ready for the Z-grip, the light duty filler, to smooth everything out this side. A little bit heavier, I'll give it some time to dry, but again, looking good. Filling in all those spaces. Now it's just a matter of letting that dry, letting this dry, come back, sand some more. This time I'm going to sand with 180 as opposed to 80 grit to get rid of some of those heavy duty scratches off the hard grit paper. And then we'll come back with the Z-grip and finish it out. Well, all right, second pass on the metal to metal. And of course, as a watcher, a viewer pointed out to me, and they were absolutely right. I already knew that, but they were absolutely right. The metal to metal is not designed to be your finish coat. That's what the skim coat is for. This is to get the seams even. And we are just about there on that. This is not that bad at all. I can fill that in. That's not a problem. That's less than a 32nd of an inch deep. The rest of this looks really good. No problems at all. Over here, I do have this continuing issue, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this back just a little bit, and I'm going to come in here and put a piece of metal in here and weld that in. So I've got to clean that out just a little bit, weld that in, because I've got a little bit of a hole right there. Not a problem. The rest of this looks really good. This up here where we did that patch is rough, but that's what the skim coat is for, not this metal to metal. It's got a little bit of a high spot right there, which I can do some hammering on, and also the skim coat will fix that as well. But the important thing is the seam is done. It's solid. This stuff is really, really tough, really difficult to sand. But as you can see, it definitely does the purpose in replacing the lead joints. This is really solid. No problems at all. We've got it done. So what's next? Well, I'm going to call it a day. It's hot out here, too hot to be sanding, and as you can see, I need to get cleaned up. But I'm going to put down the skim coat, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to weld in that patch on the other side. That won't take long, just a matter of cutting off a piece of metal, popping it in there, grounding and welding it in, and then finishing that out. That is hidden by the rubber and the trim, so if I've got a little bit of imperfections, it won't show. Of course, I'm going to try to get it as perfect as I can. But this, I have to say, is a success. It turned out a lot better than I was afraid it was going to. This is my first time ever using this stuff, and again, I'm very pleased with the results. That same is taken care of. I'm going to call it a video on this one. Of course, we are also going to be bolting on the fenders, getting everything to start lining up, the hood and everything like that. I do have to buy some hood hinges. The hinges that I've got are just seized up, too far gone. I'm going to try to use the springs that I have on those, because the aftermarket springs aren't that strong. They don't want to hold up the hood, so I'm going to try to use my springs on a new set of hinges, or maybe try to find a used set of hinges that are in better shape than the ones I've got. After that, I can bolt the fenders on, I can bolt on the hood, get all the panels lined up, and then it's simply a matter of body work, seam sealer, primer, body work, block sanding, all of that stuff once I get all these other things roughed in. So be sure and stick around. We're making progress. Of course, the VW I'm going to be doing as well, so be sure and stick around. Thanks a lot.